Good morning. It is just before sunrise, and today I am on a mission to get in shape for the summer climbing season. It is the very end of May, and so I am climbing up really the ultimate training hike, which is Mailbox Peak. Mailbox Peak, you've probably heard of it if you know anything about hiking in Washington. It is a mountain near Mount Si in the North Bend area, and it is pretty much the staple training hike. This is the mountain people come on to train for all the big peaks, and that is because it really has a lot of everything. There are two routes up this mountain. There is a long gradual climb and then a short and steep climb, and I'm sure you can guess which one I'm on. So I am going up the old trail, which is 4,000 feet in about 2.5 miles. It is going to climb straight up this mountain and hopefully kick my butt, but not too much, because I want to get the summit up Mailbox, and if I have enough gas in the tank, I will continue on the ridge to Dirtybox. But this trail is known for being relentlessly steep. I'm probably not going to be filming too much in the forest because it is pretty much 3,000 feet of climbing up through dense new growth forest. And then the final mile is very beautiful and scenic. So I'll show some of the trail and some of what you're in for, but I gotta start climbing up some elevation. Let's go see that Mailbox. I am about 1,500 feet up this thing, and it is pretty much as I remember it. I climbed Mailbox Peak once before, years ago, to train for Mount St. Helens the first time I climbed it. And Mailbox Peak is known, like I said, for being an excellent training and conditioning hike, just because it is very accessible and it has a continuous steep grade to climb. It's a really good one. The downside is a good chunk of the climb looks like this. The old trail pretty much just cuts through this new growth forest, and it's not terribly scenic. Once you break the tree line, it's beautiful, but it's a lot of this dense stuff. So it's not the prettiest forest. And then, of course, because it is so popular and so close to Seattle, you are not going to be alone on Mailbox Peak. But I wanted to come back because the last time I did this mountain it really kicked my butt. Like, I was definitely not prepared. I did not have the right gear. I did not have the right socks. And so I want to come back and be more comfortable on the mountain. And I've had my eye on Dirtybox for a while, but yeah, it is pretty much a steady trudge through pretty much this kind of forest up a 25 to 40% grade for about 3,000 feet. So that is what you're in for. And this up ahead, just going straight up this in the roots. Woohoo! I made it to the boulder field, and that means I am less than a mile, less than 1,000 feet from the summit. I crushed the old trail in just under 2 hours, so I'm hoping to be on the summit in another, well, 30 minutes or less. But now the trail has broken the trees, have this beautiful view, and I will be in the sun soon enough. Yeah, finally, after trudging through that very dense new growth forest, this is a very welcome sight. All right, going up the stone steps. I'll get a look at the summit right around this corner. I give you the summit of Mailbox Peak. The wind is insane, but here is the infamous Mailbox. I'm gonna hunker down here in the wind shelter because, whew, yeah, the wind coming down the valley is crazy, but I got the Mailbox. So that was an intense climb, but I am feeling good. I have the summit all to myself, so I am going to enjoy that. I am going to have a well-earned second breakfast and then think about heading on over to Dirtybox, but I'm gonna relax up here. That is one hell of a climb. I'm having a snack here, and there's a really nice rock. I could just kind of put my feet up and enjoy the view. Very nice, pretty much a chair up here to relax after that climb. And the wind is crazy that direction, but I am eyeing up the route to Dirtybox. That's Dirtybox. It's about 0.4 of a mile. It's gonna be like a semi-scramble bushwhack, but it is right there, and I don't climb this that often, so I'm feeling really good. I got up here in just a little over 2.5 hours, and I'm very proud of that because last time it took me, I think, over 4. Well, that's a pretty big improvement, but I can give a little bit of the tour here because the wind isn't awful. So we got the Mailbox, Dirtybox, McClellan Butte, Rainier, Mount Washington, Rattlesnake Lake, Rattlesnake Ridge, the Olympics, Seattle, Mount Si, Tenerife. We're going up the Middle Fork Valley. There's a big mountain in the back. That is Mount Baker. And then way over here, you can see Glacier Peak. 3 volcano view. That is pretty good in my book. But yeah, I think I can kill that. I think I can crush that ridge. Should be pretty good. I'm feeling good, especially after the snack break and the rest up here. I'm gonna go for it. Okay, finished the Ridge Traverse summit of Dirtybox. That was actually pretty fun. And here, it's got a very unique look at a Mailbox. That was a really fun little ridge traverse. I'll show a little bit on the way out. There's definitely some class 3 scrambling, but the boot path actually is way clearer than I was expecting. I was expecting more of a bushwhack, and there's a pretty clear boot path most of the way. It's overgrown, but yeah, the scrambling is fun, and whew, nobody else is coming to this summit. You know, for Mailbox, I can see people there. You know, it's very hard to get Mailbox to yourself for very long, but I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm gonna be all alone up here. But yeah, I'm taking another well-earned break before I think about heading back down that ridge and all the way back down the mountain. Well, I have made it back pretty much to the slopes of Mailbox, and just wanted to show the kind of terrain up here. I'll include a few other shots, but it is definitely a class 3, or like, I don't know, more exposed to get down. It is pretty steep in quite a few places. There are a couple of like 10-15 foot drops to negotiate, so yeah, it definitely, like, you've got a nice trail up to Mailbox, but Dirtybox a little bit more involved. But I just gotta scramble up a couple hundred feet, then I'll be back on Mailbox, and then I'm still debating on which route I want to go down. There are pros and cons to both. The new trail is longer, but it is more gradual, so it's easier on the legs, but it is annoyingly long. And then going back down the old trail is steep, and it's gonna pound my knees, so I'm gonna contemplate that until I get to the junction and make a decision. But yeah, first gotta scramble up some of this rock. Well, I survived the descent. I ended up going down the old trail as well, mostly because I wanted to get down faster, and I was looking at the map and I was sitting there going, I really don't want to do 4 miles back down. I have done the new trail down before, and I remember being very annoyed with how long it was, so I decided to do the steeper descent and got back down in good time. Mailbox Peak is popular, infamous. It's a lot of things. It is very popular in the area, and I think that it is an excellent training hike. I'm not sure I recommend it if you are wanting to just get to a summit with views and have a pretty scenic trail, because that, in my opinion, is not what this is. The trail itself is just not that pretty for most of it. There are other summits pretty much in this area that are going to be a more fun hike that is a much nicer trail and has the same views. But if you are looking to train, Mailbox Peak will whip you into shape. That is what it is for. If you don't have time to like get out into the wilderness and climb something more remote, Mailbox Peak is great. The old trail is intense. Do not take it lightly. There are a lot of warnings there about how it is easy to lose the trail. It is very steep. Do not underestimate it. And then the traverse over to Dirtybox, that was really fun. You kind of hop over the ridge, a little bit of scrambling, and then getting a second summit was great. And of course, having the whole ridge to myself was really cool. I would not recommend going over to Dirtybox, because first, there is scrambling involved. Second, it is a borderline bushwhack. And third, it's probably not worth it unless you're into peak bagging. But if you climb all the way up Mailbox, you have some energy, and you are wanting to get a little more adventurous, you can head on over to Dirtybox. But yeah, be warned, there is scrambling involved. So, you know, it kicks it up a notch from Mailbox. But whew, it was cool coming back here after I climbed this back in 2021. And I'm really happy with how I improved. This was like one of the first big climbs I did to prep for like doing more involved stuff. And I remember it was miserable when I did it the first time. I was woefully unprepared on a couple of fronts, but today felt good. Like I'm probably gonna be sore tomorrow, but oh, and the other thing about Mailbox is you're not going to be alone. There are a lot of people, but I mean, everyone I saw today on trail today, it was great. Everybody's just excited to be out on the mountain, and I had a lot more solitude than I was expecting, honestly. I got here early on a Friday, and I had the summit to myself, and I didn't feel crowded at all. Like I was alone on trail most of the day. So, you know, you can get it uncrowded. On a busy sunny weekend, it's going to be a circus up there, but yeah. Anyway, really fun to come back here after all that time. I've definitely gone on long enough. I'd like to go home, put my feet up, and probably watch some TV. So, thank you so much for watching, and here are my favorite pictures from the trail today. Enjoy.